All right, folks, thank you for joining Jeff, my flying partner, and I as we discuss the battle of the sub 250 drones right after this. Thank you for joining me tonight, Jeff, for this discussion. You have sold all of your DJI drones, sold your smart controller in anticipation of buying some new items, whether it's going to be, I know it's going to have to be a drone. What drone you going to buy? Are you also contemplating buying the autel drone also, one of the autel drones? And next, would you consider buying the Triple Tech tablet, and why?
And a lot of information that has come out that's not true. So nobody knows 100%, and we won't know 100% until November 5th. Glad that DJI now had some competition in the manufacturing of drones from autel. It look like they have a pretty good product, and they may give DJI a run for their money. But what I found with them is with their products, they'll throw it out there, but it's usually a long time before it actually, hits the States.
Well, that seems to be the track record. I'm also thinking about getting one of the Nanos, probably the Nano Plus, to replace my Mavic Air 2. The price is just a little high for me, I think. All the prices that's coming out now, the DJI price and the autel price, a little bit high, but I will sacrifice and get maybe the Nano Plus if it lives up to what they are selling.
Those were my thoughts too. What we need to also keep in mind is drone weight. According to the specs that I've seen, the Mavic 3 is going to come in around 900 grams. I've been looking at the new autel Evo lighter weights come in at 1,100 grams. With the new drone regulations that may come into play, that could be a rather sticky situation. So there's more than one area that we need to look at, because I don't care how good a drone is, if you got to go in the country to fly it, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's hard enough finding places in the city to fly. Places I used to fly with no problem. DJI is coming up with all these restricted areas and stuff now, places that don't even make sense. Prisons that have been closed for 20, 30 years. You can't fly anywhere near them. So that's why I'm contemplating the autel. If you talk, like you say, if you're getting something much heavier that's going to have more restrictions, it takes the fun out of this thing.
Right.
So this is why I'm looking at this as the battle of the sub 250s. The people who make the best sub 250 drones are going to carry basically most of the market.
I believe that. And and that was my thought too. I like the idea of having a 250 drone, something to take on vacations. When you go on vacation, you can grab it easy, you can go with it, you can get good shots, small. And then if you lose something like that on a vacation, it's not like you've lost a $2,000 or $3,000 drone. So they're good to just basically be able to throw in your pocket or throw in a car, and you've always got something with you. So I think that the Nano and the Mini is always going to be a winner. And just looking at what autel has right now, I mean, DJI is going to have to definitely step their game up for their Mini 3. I think that their Mini 3 will probably hit right after autels. I mean, because if we're looking at autel, I don't expect to see autel in the States till sometime in the spring.
No, that late, huh?
And that's when I think DJI have something else. Autopilot.com is one of their designated distributors, and they said that they're going to start shipping early November and late November. I think that's a little bit of deception, because you're not stating where you're going to ship, and they're not hardly shipping to the United States. They haven't even filed with the FCC on their site. They're taking pre-orders. So and to me, I think that's kind of slimy, especially when you don't mention where you're able to ship.
The way I look at it, the consumers are the one that putting these companies in in the position that they're in. They have these companies holding us by the cojones, and because we are even advertising for them for free and getting nothing out of it. By constantly keeping them in social media, constantly wearing the badges on our clothes and stuff like that. People are fighting. Oh, I'm a DJ fanboy. I'm an autel fanboy. Doesn't even make sense to me. You know, like the product, use the product, but I'd be doggone if I'm gonna keep fighting with other people over their product and I'm not getting a penny for it.
Well, you know what? That's another class of an individual that I really wouldn't, have the time to even, to really socialize with. If you're that, if you're that far gone or that far strung out on a product, it's a material thing. It's a big boy toy. Have fun with it and let it go. But in terms of, like I said, these companies, they know with their marketing strategies and the different things that they can elude the customer or lead them in a direction. Like I said, the autel thing, saying we're accepting pre-orders, for early and late November shipping. So somebody's going to see that, oh, they're doing pre-orders. I can get mine here, then I'll have it in November. And then you wait and turn around, and then you ask, where's your order? Then they turn around and tell you, oh, we're not shipping to.
Yeah.
Say that up front.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they got your money in the bank.
Right. So, or they're counting. Let's see how many orders we'll have. And if you've got to do that, kind of thing, then you're a long way behind.
Yeah, but same thing, Jeff. You have people talking about what is going to be the price of their Mavic 3 and all of this stuff. And right now, if I was DJI, I just sit back and monitor all this stuff. I have a crew monitoring stuff to see basically on average what people are willing to pay. And I would set my price according to that.
And that's what's happening. That's exactly with what's going on. They're testing the waters. They're testing the waters by throwing these ridiculous figures out. And a lot of the things on YouTube will say, "Tell me what you think."
Mm-hmm. And
tell me what you think.
As we were discussing last night, I think, when I was out there flying, and you stopped by, these drones that cost $1,000 or more probably don't even cost them $100 to make.
But that's big business, and that's and it's manufacturing. So there's not a whole lot. Like I said, not a whole lot we can do with that, because that's in every market.
Mm-hmm.
That's in.
I sold parts. Aftermarket parts for Volkswagens, custom parts and stuff like that. And for a while, I was the distributor for a company called Bugpack. Now, I know things I was paying like $2 and $3 for were being sold retail for $15-20. What do you think about the Triple Tech? Is that something you're seriously looking at?
I think for somebody who's considering, as I am, and a smart controller, I would have to see what the advantage is to having the smart controller. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you the type of person that look at all the specs, or you just want a good smart controller that's going to work? You want a good drone that's going to work? Or are you nitpicking and say, okay, I need so many nits, or I need so many this, or all of that. If it don't have this, I don't want it. Do most consumers out here really even know what all these acronyms mean? All this technology stuff that they be buying. Most people, what I find is most people have a cell phone that they pay $1,000 or more for, But it basically use it to do a little talking. They use it to text, and they use it to take selfies. That's it. I'm a good example. I have 3 drones, but I have not used all of the features on them.
Well, for me, I'm the kind of person, I've always thought about being and wanted to be an informed consumer. I don't nitpick, but whatever I buy, I usually will do some kind of research on it, just to make sure that what I'm getting is a good quality product, see the kind of reviews on it. So not as much as in nitpicking, but if you're talking about a smart controller and a tablet, I better be watching, how much brightness it has, how it performs in the sun. So those things that are extremely important to me, yes, I'm going to look at the specs, and I'm going to look at, because that's the only way that I'm going to know exactly what I'm getting and to be able to compare. So, the tablet, the tablet, you just introduced that to me, and I, yesterday, and I looked it up, and then I had my buddy who builds computers and stuff. I had him, just from a professional point of view, look at it and just to tell me, what he think. And he said, "Hey, man, this, he says it's pricey, but it's a beast of a tablet. It's really a computer." But the thing is, if the smart controller has something to it that is an advantage for my drone, then I have to think, this, whatever it may be, how much is that worth to me? Is this going to enhance the performance of my drone? Because at the end of the day, it's first about the performance of the drone. If it's going to enhance the performance of my drone, or enhance the performance or its capabilities down the line, then I'm going to get the smart controller. Because that's what it's really all about first. But if there's nothing to it, then I would look at getting the tablet, because the tablet would give me more flexibility. If I decide to get a nano drone, then I don't have to worry about another.
You can fly almost any drone with that. You can also use it as a smartphone if you want to carry that brick in your hand for a smartphone.
Right.
All right, folks. If you hung with us till the end, you have been with us for almost 13 minutes. We thank you much for hanging in, and we have to make a decision. I know many of you out there have to make decisions also, because the market is kind of crazy right now. The price of these drones and electronics are steadily going up. As for me, folks, buying anything over 250 grams just does not make sense, especially the way the law is going right now. I don't want to have to drive miles and miles and miles to put my baby in the air and not have any good scenery to capture. Sub 250 will be the future of drones for the average consumer. All right, folks, let me end on this note. Whatever company that will make the best sub 250 drone will definitely dominate the drone market, because I feel sub 250 will be the future of recreational flying. So, folks, take care, be safe, be good to your fellow man, and come back again.